How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NASCAR DFS Pick Show. I am your host, TK Nation 47, joined with Mega Rule of 31. Mega, good evening. I would say a very successful day between trucks and Xfinity.
Yeah, I think we nailed them, and that's the importance of getting in our Discord and signing up because we saw that Ryan Preece was going to the back, so he
Yeah.
still did well, but we came off of him, and I
Yep.
switched the prime to Eckes, and Eckes I think finished top three, so had a
Mhm.
led some laps, had a really good race, so that was good there, and we nailed the primes first, third, and 16th. A lot of people questioned our call on who was the scrub that we picked at the prime. I can't even remember.
You
Rex.
had, I believe, I know in your core you had Brennan Poole, which was a
Yes,
huge
yes,
play.
yep.
Yeah.
That
So
was that was the guy right there. And like I got hit up on Twitter, like Slate Breaker. She showed me a screenshot. $6 in, won like a couple hundred. So
there you go.
we want to see. So
Bingo. Absolutely nailed it on
just from
Xfinity. I
watching
also
the
won.
video. So
Yep. Yep. I won a couple $100 too. So really, really good day. So let's roll that into
well, I gotta give
a
you
break.
credit because you were right. Like what killed me was like we were talking about it, right, and you said like I don't know if I want to play those two like mid-range guys because if they like one of them crashed and Ryan Sieg
Yeah.
did, and that just kind of ended me.
Yeah.
I did okay. I didn't lose a ton. Overall I made a little bit, but it could if I just flipped a couple of the people, it could have been much more successful. So I should have listened to you in that instance. But
Yeah. I just felt like all the playoff drivers and these studs were real safe, and we had enough of the punts to play together in a lineup. And that's where I made some of my triple ups. So it was really successful that way. So we're on to Cup. We are at Homestead as we were the past two races. So go ahead and break down the playoff scenario for everyone so we can follow along.
Joey Logano won last week, so he's locked right in. Chase
Mhm.
Elliott and Ross Chastain have a pretty comfortable lead. They're up by like 17 and 18 points, so they'd have to have two pretty bad races
Yep.
not to make it in. And then you have a logjam here. You have
Yeah.
Hamlin +6, Byron -6, Briscoe, who I can't believe is still in it. That's kudos to him, -9, and then Blaney
Yeah.
-11. So they're all kind of clumped together. And then you have Christopher Bell net -23. He pretty much needs a win to get in, or like everybody to crash for the next two races on the first lap.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to have the mindset of I need to win the race, right? Like, yeah, points are going to get you far if something happens to someone else on the track, but I don't think that's a guarantee. And I think everyone's going to be thinking win and get in. So I think that's what we have to think of when we think of these playoff drivers. So let's start it out with William Byron on the pole, 9,200, a driver that does need to win. What's with the prime play tag here?
I think he's been really, really well here. He won last year, and I think that 12th in practice, but I think that he's going to be able to get out there and lead early. And again, he's one of the ones that kind of needs to make up some ground. Um,
Uh-huh.
Good on tire wear. I think a lot of things point to him being able to get out there, dominate early, and we saw like a lot of these cars that started up front, got out there, and were able to lead laps. So I know there's some really strong competition in the field here, but I think that this is the race that he's going to go out there and shine.
All righty. So strong call here on William Byron on the pole. Any questions about practice times?
No, not really worried about it. I think they go out there and make really good adjustments, and I don't think they just tuned up the car for a qualifying lap. I think that they'll be good on the long run. They'll be good with tire fall off. I think it's a good track style for them.
So looking, one thing that we did is we really I at least one thing I did, I focused a lot on the Nashville correlation, right? Nashville Speedway. So Chase Elliott, winner of Nashville earlier this year, Martin Truex Jr. and a lot of Toyotas did really well in that Nashville race. So I'm wondering if Toyota, the manufacturer, next guy up, Christopher Bell, Toyota, is going to be strong here this week at Miami. What are your thoughts on maybe any manufacturer stacks? And would you do something like that?
Possibly in a GPP if you want to do a Toyota one, that's fine. But Bell, he just has some bad luck, and that's why he's gotten to where. I mean, last week like he got taken out as collateral damage with the whole Bubba Larson field
Ah, man,
feud.
yeah,
But
that's
but before that, like he's just had some bad luck. Like he pretty much had to win that road course to be able to advance this far into
right.
the playoffs. And just he's one of the ones that just finds trouble. He's not as bad as Hurst and Xfinity, but it just kind of has the same vibe. So I just can't
Yeah.
trust it.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm standing on Christopher Bell. I think he might be starting too far forward. I'm not real sure where he's at as far as dominating a race like this. So, GBP maybe close to a fade. Next up is Chase Elliott, 10-4. Looked really good in practice. Looks pretty strong, pretty safe into the chase, but he does need to win to lock himself in. Do you like Chase this week?
In GPP, I just can't. I can't do it in cash. There's so many other plays that I want to try to get in
Mhm.
here. In my build, it came down to having to make the choice between Larson and Reddick. Now, Elliott fits into the same price range
Uh-huh.
for, for my cash build, but I think I would rather take either Larson or Elliott, or sorry, Larson or Reddick, who are really usually good at tire wear. I know the tire hasn't been Larson's friend, but I think he'll be okay here. And guys that can get up there and ride the wall, and those two are the quintessential ones. And Chase, I don't see him doing that as much.
Yeah, he's kind of in a slump. In the last five races, he doesn't have. I mean, I know he won recently, I believe at Talladega, but that's a super speedway. That's not really anything that you can bank on as far as form. 21st, last week, the Roval 20th. It's usually a track he does fairly well at. Um, Bristol, he finished 32nd. So there's just a lot of spotty form. 36th at Darlington, another mile and a half. That's pretty similar to Miami with that high groove. So I don't know. It's not jumping off the page to me, but I could see it. And maybe he carries some ownership. Maybe we can be on the other side of this one. Next up is John Hunter Nemechek pulling double duty this week, racing earlier at the truck race. 6,100, stupid price tag, but man, he's starting too far forward.
He's definitely he's the first guy in my GPP. He's running car
Really?
before, yeah. And but look at we said the same thing about Chandler Smith. He's starting way too far forward in Xfinity when he got in the ride. We presume that John Hunter Nemechek was going to drive in the 26 at Toyota. I mean, this is a solid car, a solid team. It's still fighting for the owner's points. I think there's
Manufacturing, yeah.
yeah, I think there's a lot that going here, and he's good with tire wear, and that's what you need to do. So I can't play him in cash because, like you said, he's starting too far forward. This guy, if I didn't look at FanDuel, but if he's in the FanDuel player pool, you gotta lock him in here. He has to be like somebody in your cash
Yeah.
lineup. But
Right.
in DK GPP, I absolutely love this play. I think he can definitely hang up there, stay in the top 10. It's got great equipment. I think he raced for like a minor team before when he was up, right? Wasn't it like
Uh,
Spire
he
or
was
something?
with um he was with Front Row.
Front
He was
row?
in the 38.
And that's before like front row like really got to be like some of the backing that they've gotten. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he had Gilliland's ride before he decided that he wanted to race for a championship in the truck series. Um Now the 45 finished second in that Nashville race that I keep, bringing it back to. They didn't really perform well throughout the stages, but they had it at the end with Kurt Busch, and who knows? Maybe John Hunter Nemechek surprises. I mean, we saw Weatherman for a long time in that Xfinity race hang up there in the top 10 before he caught the wall a little bit. So,
right.
um, you know, cars that qualified well in that Xfinity race performed pretty well.
Except for
Even
JJ
this,
Yaley, we saw that coming.
yeah, there was a few outliers, the Joe Groffs, the JJ Yaleys, that you just know we're like, nah. This one, I think I'm in line with you where the The manufacturer, the equipment, much better than MBM Motorsports. All right. Kyle Larson Hendricks, 10-8. I don't think I'm paying this price tag for a guy that has not figured out the next gen car.
I know, but he knows the track and everything. I think he can play him in cash. And again, like the
Oof.
debate's going to be for me, Elliott, Larson, and Reddick. And right now, I'm leaning Reddick. Larson's in my
Eileen
GPP.
Reddick over all of those.
Yeah, and Larson and Elliott are in my GPP, and I can easily get him in playing like John Hunter Nemechek and some of these other ones. And in my
Yeah.
cash build, if I drop down to Elliott, it really just gives me Austin Cindric over Austin Dillon, and I really think they're pretty even here. And place
There's not much
differential
of a difference
wise,
there.
give me
Yeah.
Dillon. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. There's not much of a difference there.
so I get place
Um,
differential in both points. If I go,
right.
if my 2v2 is Reddick, Dillon versus Chase Cindric. So.
Right. Yeah. All right. Ty Gibbs sandwiched in between Reddick and Larson. Any love?
No, he's a kind of really struggle in this car here. If you're doing the Toyota stack, then definitely like these 2311 prices make it work. And then
Yeah.
I don't know who your sixth guy would be. You'll have to figure out the math on that. But
I don't think he's finished. I think he has one top 10 in the cup.
oh wait, there's
Since they,
four. There's four Gibbs cars, so you could do it. I don't know if you do want to play Kyle Busch in his current state, but
yeah, but
you can figure that
Gibbs
out.
has one top 10 in the cup cars, so I'm gonna pass. Tyler Reddick, we mentioned a little bit, looked really solid in practice. Man, he's really figured out the mile and a half.
Yeah, yeah, and again, like you said, this is a wall riding track, and
Yeah, this is
what he
perfect.
excels at. So, if you could build a racetrack for Kyle Reddick, um, or Kyle Reddick, Tyler Reddick,
Tyler Reddick, yeah.
this is one that definitely works well for him. So,
Right. I watching the Xfinity race and how Gregson was entering the corners high and exiting the corners in the same groove. I just kept thinking, holy crap, Tyler Reddick tomorrow. Don't forget it.
yeah,
So definitely gonna take Tyler Reddick tomorrow. Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski for Roush Fenway Racing, 6,900 and 7K.
I mean, out of the two of them, I probably prefer Brad just because of his experience with tire wear. Busher is okay, but not on this style of track. Although, wasn't he? Didn't he get up and lead like was it last year when this race was earlier and he like won a stage or something? But then it the tire wear caught up to him and he fell way back, if I recall.
I'm not I can't
So
recall, so I don't want to speak out of it. Let me check Darlington real quick on Busher. I thought he had a good race that day. No, 16th, and Keselowski was 34th and in an accident. So I'm going to pass on both. Allmendinger at 75, raced pretty well today. Within, he's within range. I think he's fourth for Xfinity. Um, I think he's starting a little too far forward today.
yeah, I still miss GPP. I do have some interest in him because he his price has jumped up here, but he's been doing decent ever since he said I'm gonna commit and run full time in Cup. I think they started to throw some. There's been some continuity because he's been in this
Yeah.
car and Noah's. He and Noah were trading off, and some other guys. I think Haley was,
Hemrick.
or yeah, Hemrick was coming up here too. But I
Yeah.
think they're getting starting to get some chemistry and continuity, and I think that you're not going to see the same guy you see in Xfinity because it is a different car and it is a different level here. But I think I've seen more positive like momentum recently.
Okay. Next up, we have Kyle Busch, flat 10K. I don't think he's done anything since he announced he was
Yeah,
not returning to
yeah,
Gibbs.
and every single week that like a tire shreds itself or the car blows up or like there's some kind of fire, smoke, natural disaster. He has lived the 10 plagues of Egypt ever since Moses said, "Let my people go," and let Kyle Busch never win another race for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah, and he did not do well at Darlington, wrecked out early. I don't like him in those high groove races. I don't know. I like him on tire wear, just not this kind of tire
Right.
wear track. Next up, we have Martin Truex Jr. I do like this driver on this type of track.
Yeah, he's been good on the style of the track, the
Yeah.
length of the track, decent with tire wear, and he's had a good history at Homestead. So
Yep.
he won a championship here. He
Yep.
also had a situation where they put the lug nuts or the the wrong wheels on the wrong
Yeah.
side here, but that wasn't
Yeah.
his
That
fault. But he was doing well in that race also until they screwed him up and put the lefts on the rights and the rights on the lefts. And
I can't believe that happened. Winner of stage 1 and 2 for the Nashville Speedway. So all over Truex Jr. tomorrow. I think he can bounce back. I love the price tag at 9,400 too. If you don't play someone like Byron, I think Truex is a decent pivot. Next up, you have Ryan Blaney, 10-2.
he still
Needs
struggles
to
with
win. He needs a
yeah,
win.
but he's not good on tire wear tracks, I don't believe.
No, I think he's
He just
eyeing up
can't seal
Martinsville.
the deal. He just, he's like he's in the wedding party, but he never gets married.
Uh-oh. Wedding reference. Don't upset our viewers. Next up, we have Denny Hamlin, 10-6.
I like this play. Look, practice time's a little bit concerning here, but I think they're good enough to get it figured out. He's had his problems at this track, and he's definitely in a tier below like Reddick and Elliott and Larson, but he's somebody that I think has some place differential and has some potentials that you can play him in cash, but again, it's gonna be a decision. It's gonna be hard to get two of these 10K guys in. Like there is enough value to figure it out, but you know it might
I
limit some of the mid-range guys that you really want to try to get in your lineup.
Yeah, if I'm stars and scrubs and I'm pulling out Reddick and Truex, I don't mind fitting in Denny Hamlin. And if I don't have Reddick, I might go Hamlin. So I'm going to be playing some Denny Hamlin tomorrow. Justin Haley, 6,300. Really performed pretty well recently in that Colleague 31.
Yeah,
Do you like him here at this kind of track?
yeah. I mean, he was ninth in practice. I think, like, I don't see him. Maybe what's his worst? Like, if he finishes 20th and loses 5 points.
I think 23rd and back, you start to get worried.
I think he's fine here. I think he'll just kind of blend in and continue to overachieve like we've seen him do
Yeah.
every single race.
You don't
And
need too much either with the price tag.
yeah, 63, you're really not losing much.
Yeah.
Like
Interesting.
who's in his name? There's only one of Nemechek's the only other 6K guy here. Oh, sorry, Stenhouse and Almirola. I mean, there's more place differential there too, but
Right.
I think there's more floor with Haley.
Interesting. Okay. We'll follow your lead on that one. Kevin Harvick, 8,800. Uh, I don't know what happened. This guy won 2 races in a row and just quit.
He kind of picked a fight with NASCAR. So
Yeah. I don't, yeah, this
last
is
year,
just,
this time he was fearing the ghost of Chase Elliott.
oh,
So,
yeah.
but the price 88 is not bad. He's an experienced driver. He's good with tire wear. Again, practice speed wasn't the greatest, but I think 88. I think he's okay in cash.
Certainly interesting. Oh, guess who finished third at Darlington?
Kevin Harvick.
Justin Haley.
Oh,
There you go.
even
Kevin
better.
Harvick finished fourth. So
Even better.
maybe playing a little bit of Harvick. Next up we have Joey Logano, 9,800, the winner of Darlington. I believe he started on the pole and won from the pole. So looks like this is a good kind of race. Locked into the chase. Doesn't look like he's going to have much to lose in this one. I think he's playable. I think this is the Ty Majeski play of the truck race.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. Yep.
You know, they're just gonna,
Good comparison.
yep, not gonna do too much, and then all of a sudden they're leading the race. You're like, well, crap. So I like Joey Logano. Next up, we have Michael McDowell, 7,400. Any love there?
Uh, just had a solid season. Trying to finish. Again, it's not the style track or anything. Probably will finish in the top 20, unless there's some issues because there's like maybe 3 or 4 guys who'll probably move up and 3 or 4 guys who'll probably move down. So Yeah, he's there if you need him.
Yeah,
7,400.
you land on him kind of play.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe, 88, 8,500, still in the chase. Looked pretty good in practice.
Yeah, he's solid. He's good. He was good in Xfinity managing tires, so he won an Xfinity championship, right? So he had a
Yeah,
win it. That's back when they had the finishing race here, not Phoenix. So I think he's definitely someone to look at. I feel comfortable.
playable. He's in the player pool. Ross Chastain, 9,600. You have the floor.
I absolutely love this pick. I know he's pretty much close to locked in, but I think he wants to improve upon that. And
Yep.
he's just he just moves up, and he's just starting so far back here.
Yep.
I just think he just had a bad qualifying run, sixth in practice. Like this car's not a 20th car. They've had
I
speed.
yeah. I was gonna say I see a world where Tyler Reddick and Ross Chastain are in the optimal lineup.
Yeah, top five potential, could even lead the race, could win the race. So
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of laps to turn here. There's a good chance he's up to the front, and it's still going to be a dominator. You don't have to start a guy inside the top five to dominate this race. I think you could still consider Ross Chastain one of your dominator plays, right?
right,
Yep. Harrison Burton, nope.
exactly.
And next up we have Eric Jones, 7,900. Yes.
Yes, very
I'm
good at
playing
tire wear
playing this
tracks. I
guy
think
every
he's going
week.
to have high ownership. The price is good. There's some
Yep.
place differential. So yeah,
Playing him every week. Next up, we have Daniel Suarez, 8,300. I think this is a decent pivot for GPPs.
yeah, he has definitely top 15. Potential top 10 ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
So he's had the speed. That's decent driver. I think he'll advance.
Yep. It certainly looks like Trackhouse has pumped all of their resources into the Ross Chastain group. So I do want to mention that, but I think it is a pure leverage play. Suarez works against plays like Harvick and Jones. Noah Gregson in the 48, subbing in for Alex Bowman. It doesn't look like Bowman will return, so it's going to be Gregson for the remainder of the year. You have a prime tag here. I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, I just think that this is a solid cash play here. He was 13th in practice. It's amazing equipment, and we saw what he does at Xfinity. And I know it's a different car and it's better competition, but he has come up here and looked better than Gibbs coming up here.
He's looked
And
better than Alex Bowman.
true, true, true.
I don't know how you don't play him after watching what he just did in the Xfinity race. I mean, he was running grooves, nobody else was running. He was running fastest laps led. He dominated, and he said it in the end of the at the end of the race. He's like, "We kicked their ass," and he did, absolutely did. So I'm in on this play right here. Jones, Gregson were two plays I had highlighted. Cole Custer, 5,500. I'm not entirely interested, but the price tag is
Yeah,
interesting.
that's why I think he's going to be very chalky, but I don't know. Is he even going to be in this car next year? I was
No,
trying to
no
think, like,
chance.
who would it be like Zane Smith? Would he jump up, like, because he's got, like, the Ford thing? Like, it seems like Custer might end up in, like, big machine racing.
I would love to see Landon Castle take over here.
Yeah, um,
Makes a lot of sense.
but you got, like, a Chevy driver jumping over. Usually, you'd see the lineage, but, like, just
What?
their,
Calling Chevy?
true, but this is not a Chevy, isn't it a Ford?
Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, shoot. All right, I was thinking Childress. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is Stuart Haas.
no. So I'm thinking like, isn't like Riley Hurst, but I just don't think he's
Oh
ready or he's better.
no,
So
no. He, they could just shut down the 41 entirely. We have next up Austin Cindric, 7,700. Practice went well.
yeah, and he's been good on tire wear and Xfinity. Like not the best, but he won a championship, so I believe Or no, maybe he won at Phoenix. Maybe he was the first year was at Phoenix.
I
But
think it
anyways,
was Phoenix. Yep.
14th in practice. I don't love the play, but I think there's enough floor and place differential here to, and it's it's a Penske car. It's a solid team. I think definitely there's um, some upside here.
All right. Next up, we have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47, 6,500. I'm in.
Yeah, GPP like 10th in practice. I don't. He should be able to move up at least a couple spots. You'd think.
I
If
like him on the high line.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But he's
In
the one
slide
going to
jobs,
cut
high
the.
line. This is his
Yeah,
kind of
but
style.
he's the one that like is too risky and will cut the tire on the wall and end up
Oh, for
spinning.
sure.
Yeah,
Boomer
so
bust. Yeah. Almirola, 6,700.
I
I don't know. I'm on the fence.
yeah, I just like him for the place differential, like based on like
Yeah, that's fair.
who's around him at 67. Like he's in my cash pool, just because I think there's some upside here for the price.
Next up, we have Todd Gilliland and Ty Dillon.
I don't know if either one of these will be able to stay on the lead lap. And if we looked, it would like what 15 laps to go. There's the whole top 10 was like
Pretty
we're
much,
the only
yeah.
ones on the lead lap. So if this
Look like
stays
a
green,
throwback.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of cars that start following lap after lap after lap behind. So that kind of
Mhm.
scares me as we get down here.
Corey LaJoy, 5K.
He was fifth in practice. I think he's going to be like super chalk. I'm
Right.
okay. I threw him in. I might throw him in my cash line just because he opens up a lot, and if he did show the speed in practice, and he has had some flashes of brilliance this year, so
Recently at Las Vegas, I thought LaJoy was really well. He ran 24th. Maybe I'm thinking of Texas. I know one of these recent races he did, yeah, 14th at Texas. So there's some form here. Austin Dillon, 7,200. I
uh,
don't, it's like the Alfredo play of the
yeah, he's
Xfinity
he's
race.
last man in here, like
Yeah.
in my cash lineup, because that's around the range that I ended up on. And like I said, I had the choice between if I change the 10K stud guy, I can get up to like Cindric. Um,
I'm not afraid to play him.
I was trying to play around with it to, you know, I mean, I didn't want to drop the Blaney to try to get Jones in. That's a little.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
I would just
I mean,
stick with
maybe I could drop down to Logano and then I could get Jones in. So
that. Makes much more sense.
yeah, but
It's up to you on that one. Yeah.
right,
Landon Castle, 4,800. I don't mind it.
yeah, yeah. That's why I put him as cash. Like he did look decent in the Xfinity race here, and again, the car might end up a couple laps down, but I think he's not gonna. I think there's attrition and
Hmm.
issues are going to push him ahead naturally. And at 48, I mean, I think there's a nice buffer built in.
Yep. JJ Yaley, BJ McLeod.
After seeing what happened to Yaley and Xfinity, I have to say no. BJ McLeod,
Never.
he's going to finish the race 17 laps down
Dead
and
last.
not even have a wreck. He's just going
Nope.
to be out there waving to the crowd.
Speed
Hey
minimum.
guys, look at me. I'm in a race car. I get a paycheck.
Yep. Cody Ware.
I think I like this play only because he can't go anywhere but up. And with only 36 cars in the field, he starts with automatically 4 points
Yeah.
at 4,700. So you're already almost at 1x.
Yep. All right, that'll wrap things up. Mega, thank you for joining me this evening. Thank you for breaking that all down. We are going with our cores as always through the Discord. You can find that on our website, FSIDFS.com, or on our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS. You can follow me on Twitter at TKNation47. That is Mega Ruler 31. Only a few races to go, gentlemen. So let's lock in, finish strong, and put to bed a strong NASCAR season this year. So thank you. As always, please like this video, comment below with any questions, and enjoy today's race.
And good luck to you next weekend. I will be solo or have some special guests here, and we'll
Yeah,
return
wedding day.
for the final in Phoenix.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, man.